Hey, before we start today's show, a quick announcement. Tyler recently took the family to Disney and is going to be playing catch up for a while. He's trying to finish up his last commission list of 2020 and gearing up for his new list opening for 2021. He will be out this week and will probably be hunched over his drafting table while we record for the next few episodes as well, but he'll be back shortly. In the meantime, we have a very, very special guest host lined up for you today. I can't even believe we got them into the studio. This is mind-blowing. Hey folks, welcome back to your favorite podcast, That Would Be Rad. A podcast that majors in 80s and 90s nostalgia, comic culture, all things paranormal, and minors in retro video games, tabletop RPGs, pre-internet mysteries, and raising our kids to be half as cool as we were back in the 80s. I'm your host, Woody Brown, and with us today is a very special guest host. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one, the only, my son.
Woodrow Brown.
He's here. I can't believe I convinced him to do this, but son, how's it going?
Good. I'm not the one and only one though, because you're Woodrow Brown too.
Well, that's
your
of course
real
that's
name.
true. Yeah, of course. You're actually Woodrow Brown the fifth, right?
Yes.
Incredible. So why don't you tell our listeners, how old you are and maybe a little bit about yourself.
I am 8 years old and I am turning 9 this year. And I'm going into third grade next school year.
What's your favorite, subject or things that you learn in school? What's your favorite thing?
Art.
Art. Nice. It's kind of changed. I think last year it was science and math and that kind of thing.
I still like doing science, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. One of the things that's kind of interesting is you're also, you mentioned that you're into art right now. Something that you love to do. Yeah. Is what? Like whenever it's bedtime, you usually stay up just a little bit after it's time for bed, and you usually do one of two things. You're either reading or drawing, right? You're practicing your drawing. And why don't you tell folks a little bit about, that? Like, what are you interested in? How did you become interested in drawing? As our listeners know, Tyler, he's an incredible illustrator. He's an incredible comic artist, and just an artist in general. What inspired you to start drawing, and then what are you doing with that and your plans for that and all that?
I started reading Dog Man and Captain Underpants, and ever since I started reading those, I've just wanted to write a comic, and I've been doing that lately, and me and my friend are starting a business.
Nice.
It's called Mine Comics.
Mm-hmm.
And we're selling it at his house and our house. So
nice. And also at school, I guess, if you get a chance.
Because we're not really allowed to sell stuff at school.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you guys are going to be making some comics. Do you guys have characters picked out and stuff? Or
yeah, we made up a character together.
Now, are you allowed to talk about this secret, or is it still kind of a secret project?
I can tell you the name of the character, but I'm not going to tell you the title of the comic yet.
Okay, fair enough.
So one of the characters' name is Speedy, and the other is Fasty.
Nice. Cool. And do you want to tell us about, do they have superpowers or?
Well, they just go really fast.
Okay.
And that's it.
Cool. So this is in the very early developmental stages right now, right? You guys haven't really planned out what the story.
We're going to write it on Monday and draw it.
Very cool. And then you and your friend, you do what for the comics?
I draw, and then he writes and puts the words in the speech bubbles.
Very cool.
So he writes the story, so I can't draw the rest of the comic because I don't know what the story is going to be.
Very cool. Man, that's exciting. Some of the things that we kind of talk about on the podcast, on this show, are old video games. I've kind of told our listeners before that, one of the things that we did with you, and in my opinion, it's kind of patting myself on the back here in terms of fatherhood, is that we started you with old school retro video games first.
Yeah.
Right? So, Pac-Man, NES. I kind of started letting you, I dusted off the old PS2.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know that thing would work, and found some of the games that I had. Most of them were maybe a little too old for you, like,
Call of Duty.
Well,
my friends all play Call of Duty.
Well, they play the new one, but anyway.
The Black Ops is even more violent.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because it's more detailed, so it's probably more violent.
It's probably more violent, but nice try. Anyway, I I think that we did it right, because I think if kids start with the newer games, I don't think they're going to have the same appreciation for the old ones, are they? I mean, you tell me. I mean, if you would have started playing the Nintendo Switch, would you have any interest in going back and playing Super Mario Brothers?
No.
On NES? No, right? So doing it kind of in the order let you sort of, see the evolution of video games.
Yeah.
And I think you have a better appreciation for it.
Uh-huh. I think if I got the Nintendo Switch first, I'd probably still like retro games because, well, they're retro and I like retro stuff.
That's true. You always have.
I like the original stuff way better than the newer.
Especially like with design, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like you love old logos and music and stuff too, a lot better than a lot of the newer stuff, right?
Yeah. I just know a lot about video game characters because I've just been playing them for a long time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it feels like a long time, right? I mean,
I know a lot about video game characters.
Now, who would you say is your favorite video game character?
That is very, very tough.
Yeah.
And I could count the Ghostbusters because they have a game.
That's true, yeah. So on your Nintendo Switch, you've got the Ghostbusters game. And folks, I got to tell you, the
detail,
the detail, the graphics, it really looks like you're
in real life.
It looks like in real life. It looks like you're actually one of the Ghostbusters. In fact, so in that game, for example, you play just like a new Ghostbusters recruit, right? And then, but you get to play and fight these ghosts alongside all of the original Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I noticed too about that game is all of them, it seems to be, I haven't read the credits, but it looks like Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson, have come back and voiced the characters. But of course,
Harold Ramis,
Yeah, he passed away, so he wasn't able to. But whoever they've got to voice Egon's character,
it sounds exactly like him.
I mean, it's crazy, right?
And I think they did record some of the stuff from the original two movies.
So maybe they used like some of the words.
Him saying cross the streams, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's a great game. Now, do you think is it scary at all, or?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, the ghosts are kind of scary, but they're not too scary. Stay Puft isn't scary at all. Right. He looks delicious.
Well, that's because you love marshmallows. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
The final boss, Shandor, he turns into a lava monster and he doesn't look that scary.
Wow.
He is scary.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, I got a quick question, kind of going back to the retro games. Yeah. When we got started, we got the Retron 3 HD, which I've already told the listeners about before in a previous episode, where you can play NES games, Super NES, and Sega Genesis. Out of all three of those systems, well, actually, maybe tell me a favorite for each one. Do you have a favorite? What's your favorite NES game that you have?
Mario 2.
Mario 2. I knew you were going to say that. You and your mama love that game.
It's because it's the only Super Nintendo, like just Nintendo game for a long time where you can switch your character.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you can be Mario, Luigi,
Toad and Peach.
Toad and Peach, which you can't even do in Mario 3, which is pretty interesting. So is that would you say the main reason why you love it, or do you just love it in general?
I just like it because like there's a new ability that isn't in any other Mario game, and I don't think it will. I think that's the only game where it'll have the super jump when you crouch for a certain amount of time. You jump and then boing, super jump. And it's not, you can do it at any time with any character. You don't just have to get like a mushroom. You can do it even without a mushroom. You can, and the only power up in the game is a mushroom.
Dang. That is crazy. So growing up, I always loved Mario 3 probably the best because it's just the one besides Super Mario Brothers, the original one. That Mario 3 is what I played the most, my brother and I, and your uncle, and I just loved, the power-ups in there and, and that kind of thing. But what about Super Nintendo? Do you have a favorite Super Nintendo game?
Mario World.
Super Mario World's amazing.
Yeah. It's the best graphic 2D Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true because they're kind of like there's kind of like a 3D but on like a side-scrolling thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's called New Super Mario Brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
For what?
For
Super
Wii.
Nintendo?
Wii.
Oh, for Wii, yeah, but we're not talking about those just yet because we don't have it.
I know.
What about Sega? What's your favorite Sega game?
Sega Sonic.
Sonic,
Definitely
yeah, you like
Sonic.
What'd you think about the Sonic? What'd you think about the Sonic movie?
That is incredible.
Right?
I'm glad they changed the look of Sonic.
Holy smokes. I think the world agrees with you. That first original,
I mean, you can't blame the guys for making a terrible Sonic. I mean, that was the first real-life version of Sonic that they ever made.
Yeah, no, but man alive.
That was scary. That was just scary.
Yeah, not cool. Okay, so let's see. We went through those. So what are some of the things that you're into these days? Like as an 8-year-old, if there are other 8-year-olds listening, what are some of the things that you're like, hey guys and gals, you have to check this out? Like what are the books that you like to read? And
Jedi Academy.
Oh, the Jedi Academy books.
Wimpy Kid.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You're really into those?
Captain Underpants and Dogman.
Yeah. You also like to play Minecraft, right?
Yes.
Now, tell me a little bit about why you like Minecraft. What's so cool about it?
It's really based off real life. It's kind of educational. I mean, I knew what bone meal was thanks to Minecraft, which was a big surprise to Mom. And I knew what it did to plant with plants. I know that some of the stuff in Minecraft isn't real, but that's what makes it fun. And there is a Minecraft called Minecraft Education Edition. It's basically all about coding, so I don't see why they don't let us play Education Edition at school.
Mm-hmm. I knew it was coming. Well, because you guys have to learn about other things for now.
No, but we do coding at school already, so.
Well, okay. Well, I don't think every school does, but I think maybe, your class that you're in kind of has the opportunity to do that, which is awesome. But I think what I like about Minecraft, too, is...
You need to start playing it.
Well...
You need to get it.
We'll see.
You need to get it.
I like it because there are a lot of parallels to Minecraft and even some stuff that I like, which is what Tyler and I both have gotten into recently, which is Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I think, setting up traps, fighting creatures, going into
tree houses.
Yeah, there are all sorts of elements to map making and being a dungeon master and everything that you're kind of experiencing actually in any kind of game design and everything that I think when you're a little bit older, you'll have an appreciation for and love Dungeons and Dragons. Now, we have movie nights and stuff, and we watch a lot of modern movies and stuff, but every now and then I can convince both you and your sister, so both of my kids, to watch some of the older movies that I've got either on VHS or, if it happens to be streaming somewhere. And a lot of the time, you end up really loving those movies. But sometimes you won't even watch them with me. So I'll give you an example. Right now, I'm trying to get these kids to watch Willow with me, and they just absolutely will not watch it with me. It's a great movie. I don't understand what's going on here. Why don't you want to watch it?
I just don't want to watch it.
But tell me about some of the movies that I have made you watch that you were just like, oh man, that movie's amazing. Gremlins. That one was relatively recent. What about of course, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, Batman Returns.
Yeah, definitely. Ghostbusters 2, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and what about, I know one. When we went camping in Florida.
Yeah.
Do you remember I made you watch?
Dick Tracy.
Tracy, yeah. Remember, at first you didn't want to watch it, but I was like, trust me, son. And you loved it, right?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Now, I think another cool thing about my son is that he really likes movie soundtracks and composers. So, for example, even from a very, very, very young age, you've always loved the music from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that kind of introduced you to John Williams.
Yeah.
Who also does the soundtracks for what?
Harry Potter, E.T., Jurassic Park, Home Alone.
Right.
And
I mean, just almost every, I mean, just like he is big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you also like Danny Elfman, right?
Yeah.
You can always kind of tell those two, like he did the soundtrack for, Danny Elfman, of course, did the Batman Returns, basically any Tim Burton film, but also Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right?
He also did Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
Oh, did he really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Well, Dad, I've got some questions for you that I think you'd like answering.
Oh, okay, so you have questions for me?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is trying to take my job. I think he's doing a great job so far. And, if you could hear him, Woodrow, I think they're giving you a round of applause. So, okay, shoot.
Aliens will visit our planet in the year 2099 and make the following announcement. What's the following announcement?
That's a good one, actually, because that one is kind of pretty topical for our podcast. Even though we haven't had a chance to do an episode about aliens yet, we will.
Yeah, you should.
I would say, I think they're going to come down and they're going to say,
"People of Earth, be red."
Okay. In this, the picture says, the alien says, broccoli was never meant to be eaten.
Yeah, nice try.
No, it says it.
Nice try.
The number one thing that will get on old people's nerves 20 years from now will be what?
Selfies.
Yes or no? This is the true or false.
Okay.
Robots and mankind will be locked in a battle for supremacy.
Robots and mankind will be locked in a battle for supremacy. Probably true. Like the Terminator, which you're not allowed to watch yet, but one day I cannot wait.
Parents will be banned from dancing within 20 feet of their children. True or false?
I mean, when me and Mom dance, I mean, you think it's really cool, right? I mean, we've got some good moves.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I put false.
Okay, good deal.
People will have instant messaging chips implanted in their brains.
Probably true.
I put true. How many miles will you live from your current home?
And how many? Well, I mean, I don't know. We could be here for a while. How many miles do you think you'll live from?
0.
0? You want to live pretty close to Mom and Dad? That's pretty sweet.
What's your favorite shoe brand?
I'm going to have to go with Nike.
What's your favorite store?
My favorite store on the planet, I'm not even putting anybody on, is definitely Wizards.
Oh.
What about you?
Probably GameStop.
Okay. Fair enough.
What's your favorite soda?
Ooh. Cheer wine. What about you?
Sprite.
Okay.
What's your favorite cereal?
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
I know.
Oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Mine is Lucky Charms.
Nice.
What's your favorite superhero?
Man, that's also tough. I mean, growing up, Batman was definitely my favorite. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, oh boy, that's also hard. I mean, it's kind of a even tie between Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. What about you?
Mine would be, I don't know. There are a lot of good ones.
Spider-Man, right?
Sure, yeah. What's your favorite candy?
Sour Patch Kids.
Mine is Whoppers.
Nicely done. Yeah, every movie night, it's our tradition to get the kids like their favorite candies, right? I always pick Sour Patch Kids. You always pick
Whoppers.
And what does your sister usually get?
Skittles.
Yeah. And then I always get like a bonus one so that we can share. Oh, Sour Patch. What are the ones that you like?
Watermelons.
Sour Patch watermelons. Woo. Boy, howdy.
Good. They're not too sour, but they taste, and they don't taste too much like watermelon.
Exactly.
What's your favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant, that's tough. I mean, one that your mom and I like to go to when we're having like a special occasion is called
Avocados.
No, that's a good one.
Avocados?
That's a good one. But the one that we go to for special occasions is called Antebellum.
Oh, I've heard of that. You talk about it.
Yeah.
Mine is avocados.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to get at avocados?
A burger.
Yeah.
They're so big.
Huge.
But they taste so good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite athlete? Who's your favorite athlete?
My favorite athlete?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I mean,
You're an athlete.
yeah, I'm a triathlete. But it just depends on the sport. My favorite baseball player.
Let's just say soccer. What's your favorite soccer?
Oh, I don't know anybody that plays soccer.
Okay.
My favorite, if it's going to be like my favorite baseball player of all time,
yeah,
it's going to be Nolan Ryan. He was a pitcher. He's just amazing.
You know mine. You definitely know mine, but I'm just going to say
Let's
it because Freddie
Freeman from the Atlanta Braves, number 5. He's a lefty, just like you.
And 5 is my favorite number because I'm the 5th Woodrow in my family.
That's right.
My dad's the 4th.
Boom, shakalaka.
Game system. What's your favorite game system?
Yikes, man. I was afraid that you're going to ask me something like that. I mean, for like nostalgia purposes, I would say like the NES was my favorite because that's the one I played the most. I never had a Super Nintendo growing up. My cousins did. And
the only thing they played was Mario Paint.
No, right? One cousin liked Mario Paint. But like we would always play Super Mario World. I also liked the Sega Genesis. But honestly, the one that I probably played the most in college was PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2.
You had a PlayStation 1?
My roommate did, yeah. And we got serious with it. We would do these like, our favorite games was like college football, NCAA.
Did he know back then that you could use the PlayStation to play PS1 games?
Well, you mean
I played PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah, but this was before the PlayStation 2 came out, though.
Well, you said you had a PlayStation.
Yeah, eventually I had a PlayStation 2, right after that. Yeah. What's your favorite game console or system?
Switch.
Nintendo Switch, yeah. I don't blame you. I mean, the Mario games on this thing. What are some of the Mario games again? Which ones do you have? Because you got a lot of them.
Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey.
Luigi's Mansion. 3D All-Stars, which has Mario 64, the first 3D Mario game ever. Sunshine, which is the 3D Mario game that came after that, and Galaxy.
Now, out of all of those, which would you say is your favorite?
That's I don't know, because like it's hard to choose between Galaxy and 64.
Yeah.
64 is fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I've tried to play some of them, and they're just, not only are they just like pretty difficult, but man, the graphics are just ridiculous, and the mechanics, the game mechanics of it all, and just all the things that you can do is just incredible.
What are you doing?
I'm just taking pictures of you. Okay. Next question, please.
What's your favorite comic strip?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I already know mine.
When I was growing up, I would have to say Calvin and Hobbes was my favorite comic strip to find. Family Circus was kind of fun, and there was another one.
Tracy.
No, they didn't, like, every now and then you'd have like a Dick Tracy comic strip in the newspaper, but Garfield,
that's my favorite.
That's yours? Yeah.
Because we have Garfield.
Yeah, so I mean, well, tell folks, when you say we have Garfield, what does that mean?
Well, we have a kitten that appeared on our deck. He's orange, and we called him Garfield.
Yep, he's awesome, isn't he?
He's so cute.
Yeah, he's super cute, and he's also really loving, a lot more so than our old lady cat that is inside, and she's just kind of lays around all day and
Hopefully she's not in here.
Yeah, hopefully she's not in the studio listening because we don't want to hurt her feelings. Okay, next question.
What's your favorite magazine?
Favorite magazine? Oh.
So many.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually haven't read a new magazine in a long time, but I've just got a copy of this old vintage 1981 magazine called Dragon. It's September 1981. It's issue number 53. And if I would have known about these back then, it would have been my favorite magazine. But, Nintendo Power was a good one. Beckett, which is a magazine that would come out every month and kind of tell you what your baseball cards were worth, like the value. And I used to make like these spreadsheets with all the, whether or not the value of the card was going up or down. I mean, I got super into it.
My favorite is probably the Nintendo one you were talking about. Because when you showed me the Mario 3 one, where it had the 3D
like the
cover.
map? Oh, the 3D cover, yeah.
I was just like, we need to get this now.
Yeah, I know.
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car is my Jeep.
The one that sounds best to me is the Tesla. is a Tesla.
Yeah.
Because now they're so high tech, they can drive, like, they pick out a restaurant for you to go to where you can eat if you're hungry. You can play Xbox games in your Tesla.
Well, I should have known that's one of the reasons why you love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, okay, so basically what you're telling me is you want a Tesla now. You want to slow your roll a little bit, son, because you're only 8. You got 8 more years until you're 16. And I'm going to tell you right now, in front of everybody, our listeners as our witness, I'm not buying you a Tesla for your first car. Now, that said, it is interesting because by that time, there's going to be a lot more autonomous vehicles driving around. Autonomous means they drive themselves.
Yeah.
And truthfully, statistically, it's a lot safer to have a car that won't allow you to drive, but will drive you and your sister or something to, I don't know, tennis practice or whatever it is that you're doing at that time. So interesting thought, but we have a long time until we're going to have to worry about that. Now let's get some rapid fire questions.
What's your least favorite TV show?
Least favorite TV show of all time would be The Kardashians.
What's your least favorite band?
Least favorite band of all time would have to be Nickelback.
What's your least favorite sports team?
It depends on what sport you're talking about, but let's just say least favorite football team, I would say used to be the Patriots.
Now it is?
I don't know, because I mean, basically, it's funny, we're recording this on Super Bowl Sunday, and Tom Brady's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. He played for the Patriots, and essentially what he's shown everyone is that when he moved to a team that wasn't doing well, he brought him all the way to the Super Bowl. So arguably, he's one of the best quarterbacks that ever lived. But I still don't like the Patriots.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Now, that's a tough one because
least favorite food.
Least favorite food? I don't know. I don't really have one. Cold soup? I mean, I don't know.
What? Cold soup.
Yeah. What about you? What's your least favorite food? Don't say broccoli.
Beef jerky.
Your least favorite food is beef jerky?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I like roasted broccoli.
Okay, that's pretty rad.
I love being here with you doing this.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a quick question, son. Out of all of these VHS that I have, I mean, hundreds, if you're looking around the studio here, what is a movie that I've said, no, you're not allowed to watch that you cannot wait to watch whenever you get a little bit older?
Probably It.
Oh, It?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the original movie with
rated PG.
Well, it's not rated PG.
It
It's
is
on
rated
the
PG.
cover. It says not rated. When we looked it up, because it was a made for TV movie. You know, you wonder a little bit how old. I mean, I was about. I think I was a little bit older than you whenever I first watched it.
And we looked it up, and it said PG or PG-13.
Yeah. But you're not 13 yet. Although we do watch some PG-13 movies every now and then.
Oftenly, actually.
Okay, well. So It is the one that you just really want to see, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Probably.
I'm going to have to wait a little bit. All right, look. I just wanted to say thank you very much, son. And thank you to our listeners for, hanging out with us today. We didn't want to miss a week. We wanted to give Tyler the time he needs. But we're going to be coming back consistently week after week, either with guest hosts or, ideally, Tyler himself. So, if you could just give my son a round of applause wherever you're sitting right now, whatever you're doing. I think he did a pretty good job, and he may even have a future in this.
Yes. Dad, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listeners, thank you for hanging out. We love you. We appreciate you. And until next week,
be rad.
That's the way it goes. You're my favorite song on the radio. needed some sunshine. You were already dead, for you became a ghost. You always said our future would be a parade of flowers, but now all that's left is a single rose. That's the way it goes.
I already finished. You're going to be in the podcast, though. You're going to be in the same